Good morning, students. Today we will continue the chapter 17, Natural Disasters. With this, I want to tell you that when you submit your copies, you should see that more of your more after the half yearly portion should be complete. Like chapter 3, chapter 7, chapter 11, chapter 17 and other chapters which I will teach you later should be there in your copy, written work, question answers and exercises in the book. So when you submit your copies, do not submit the copy which has only half yearly portion. I need the more important work is now after the half yearly portion. So you should submit your copies with the chapters, chapter 3, 7, 11, 17 and further which we will do. Okay. Now we were doing about the natural disasters and we had done about earthquake, landslide, volcanic eruption, floods. Today we are going to do about cyclones. Now what are cyclones? So we'll go to page 91. Heading is there cyclones. Now cyclones, which is called in Hindi Chakravat. It comes into the coastal areas accompanied by strong winds. तो जब चक्रवात आते हैं तो वहाँ पे क्या होती है, बहुत तेज हवा चलती है. Torrential rain, very heavy downpour or rainfall, heavy rainfall and strong winds like आंधी जैसे. High storm tides, and in ocean the tides come, very high tides are formed like as if the storm has come. Okay. Now, so what is actually cyclone? Cyclone is a whirling of wind into the ocean inwardly. ठीक है. So whirl जो हवा होती है वो जैसे whirl होता है ना वॉशिंग मशीन में whirling movement होता है, round and round spiral movement. So that happens into the oceans near the coastal areas and the wind whirls into the water inwardly, not outwardly. The wind moves inwardly and it causes cyclone, that means heavy rainfall, storms, heavy winds, strong winds and tides go very high. This is often followed by heavy rainfall and floods, and this also causes very heavy floods into the areas near to the coast. Coast means near the sea. The sea level suddenly rises. जो समुद्र का पानी है वो बहुत ऊंचा उठ जाता है या लेवल पानी का ऊंचा उठ जाता है. Destroys houses and crops into the coastal area. So जो भी घर near the coast होते हैं, all the houses which are near the coast, they are all destroyed because they are washed off by the waters of the sea and the strong winds and the rain. So the houses, the crops, the animals, human being, everything gets destroyed when cyclones struck or strike. The speed of the wind is so high that it uproots trees. That means wind is very strong that पेड़ भी उखड़ जाते हैं. So you can imagine how strong the wind is. It uproots the trees. पेड़ उखड़ जाते हैं, इतनी strong हवा चलती है. Electric poles and whatever comes on. So whatever will come on the way, the strong wind will break it and take it away, whether it is a strong tree or an electric pole or anything. Okay. Now cyclones are worst natural disasters or hazards affecting people living into the coastal areas. So cyclones come near the coastal areas. समुद्र के तट के किनारे वाले जो लोग रहते हैं उनको अफेक्ट करता है because it comes into the seas and oceans. where the whirling of water is created by the wind when the wind moves inwardly. There is a specific cyclonic season. So there is a season when cyclones come into the coastal areas, which is the season especially in the month of April, May, June and October, November, December. So 3 months in summer from April, May and June, and 3 months in winter, which is October, November and December. Indian coast have faced some of the severest cyclones. So our Indian coast, our India has got the peninsula, the southern area is the coastal areas. So most of the coastal areas have many times experienced very worst cyclones that has destroyed the property, the people, the houses, the crops and many more things. Now, precaution, what we can do before the cyclone. First of all, if we know that I am living in an area which is near the coast, I am living in a coastal area where cyclones come, listen to the news channel for weather forecast and warnings. So always when you know the weather is such which may create cyclones, we have to listen to the news for weather forecasting. That means they tell weather before in hand what kind of weather is going to be. Now move to a safer place before the cyclone arrives. If you hear in the news, on the radio, then if you know that it's going to strike the coastal area, immediately you have to go to a safer place and keep with you enough food so that it can last long. You have to keep enough drinking and clean drinking water. Keep a first aid kit. You do not know how many days you have to be there far away from your home. So you should keep some preservative food, some clean water, some first aid medicines like for fever, headache, for burn, cut, all that. Keep the roofs of your houses, जो घर की छत होती है वो अच्छी कंडीशन में होनी चाहिए. It should not be blown away easily by the wind. So you should have a nice and pakka roof, nicely constructed. Keep phone numbers of hospitals. If you know that a place is going to have cyclones, you should know the phone numbers of hospitals, good helping agencies, your near and dear ones, okay, in your hand, by heart also. Sometimes you may lose your mobile. You are totally dependent on your mobile. So if you lose it and if it gets destroyed or something happens, so it's better you also by heart some of the important numbers. Okay. This was about the cyclones, which is called in Hindi as Chakravat. Next you have drought. Drought means सूखा पड़ जाना. When there is no rainfall at all, बिल्कुल बारिश नहीं होती है, सूखा पड़ जाना, अकाल आना. So too much of water causes floods and too little water, very little water causes drought. Drought is a condition caused by the shortage of water. So what is drought? A situation or a condition when there is no water, scarcity of water, lack of water, lack of rain. Okay, maybe that means from long time there has been no rain. Now why there is drought? क्यों आता है सूखा? Because we keep on cutting the trees. There is cause of drought. No taking care of ponds and tanks. If we have pond means you have तालाब है, कोई tank है जिसमें आप पानी इकट्ठा कर सकते हो. You have to keep that water safe for the emergency time and use water carefully. Drawing too much of underground water, from the tube well or any work we are using too much of water or wasting it, that also will create drought. Especially cutting down trees. If we will cut trees, there will not be rainfall and it will create a situation of drought. सूखा पड़ जाएगा, बारिश नहीं होगी. तो बारिश ना होने का सबसे बड़ा कारण है पेड़ों को काट देना. Okay, wasting plenty of water. Now what happens if there is a drought? Leads farmers to starvation. The farmers have starvation. Starvation means भूखमरी आ जाती है. They don't have even something to eat because they totally depend on monsoon. They totally depend on their fields. And if there is no rain, no water, how the field will have crops? So they face starvation, a situation where there is nothing to eat. Plants and animals also die if there is no water. All the plants dry off, animals die. Okay, that is because of no rain. So that is the effect. Farmers face starvation, plants and animals die. Okay, no crops are cultivated because of the lack of rain, lack of water. What are the things we can do? First thing we can do, plant more trees because trees will help in increasing of rainfall. Trees also help to let rainwater seep into the ground and improve the water level. So the trees will not only help for the rainfall to occur, but trees will also help the water which is falling from the sky on the ground to seep. जमीन पानी को सोख ले, उसमें भी ट्रीज मदद करते हैं और उससे पानी का लेवल ग्राउंड में ऊंचा हो जाता है. So trees roots suck up the water and ground level water comes up. So trees are very important. We need to plant more of trees. Maintain natural tanks and ponds. If we know my area has a scarcity of water or less water, I need to keep a pond or a tank filled with water. Build new ones to store rainwater to use when there is less rainfall. So we have to build more of the tanks to face the scarcity of water. We have to grow drought resistant crops. ऐसी खेती करनी है और ऐसी फसलें उगानी है जिनमें ज़्यादा पानी की ज़रूरत नहीं होती. Like the crops which need less water for them while when we grow it. So like cultivation, the crops are like millets and maize. Maize is like corn, bhutta ugana, dale ugana, okay, ragi, all that. Develop proper facilities of irrigation, and we need to know proper facilities of irrigation. Irrigation means to put water into the field. Some ways, new method where less water can be used for the whole field. New methods, new techniques of irrigation. Irrigation means supplying water to the field. Okay. Natural disaster can happen at any time. We do not know natural disaster can come any time. An earthquake, a volcanic eruption, a cyclone, anytime, anywhere. At the time of disaster, the strong presence of mind. We have to have presence of mind. Should not run, should not hurry, worry, should not panic is required. So we should have presence of mind and patience to save the lives of those who are trapped into the disaster. If somebody is stuck up into any disaster, a flood or an earthquake or a cyclone, we need to be calm, have presence of mind to help people to come out of it. Okay? So these were some natural disasters that we have discussed. Read them also, and when you come for the live class, you can ask me your doubts. Okay, complete your work properly in the copy and then submit. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye children.